I tell y'all what's on my mind?
Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bang.
Can I get a couple of things
Shit
off my
you wouldn't
chest?
understand. The type of skits you wouldn't understand. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be as son as your kinfolk. William Jewell, giving you my detail as I'm articulate. This is articulating rap, rap, rap. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? If you haven't already heard, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn all the notifications on so you can get all the new content, all the new posts, all the new clips when I post them. Right? But man, it's been a crazy week. I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all was able to share times with your family and friends. I hope y'all was able to share time with those loved ones and really embrace that moment. Right? Really embrace having your people together, because sometimes during these holidays we don't realize how precious these moments is. Right? When you see everybody sitting around at this table sharing in a feast with each other, this might not be the y'all might not be able to see each other this same time next year. This might be the last time. This may be my 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 last time, Lord, I don't know. So, man, you got to make sure y'all enjoy your family, enjoy the presence of the loved ones, because, man, it could be totally different in a year from now. Right? Somebody could be with their family. Somebody could, not be there. Right? Because we can't speak those type of things into existence anyways. But just cherish these moments, cherish these times with your loved ones. And another thing that I'm really cherishing, another thing that I'm really appreciating right now during this Thanksgiving is what Kendrick was able to give to us on the platter. What he was able to give to us on the plate that wasn't any gobble gobble, right? That wasn't any turkey, any ham and mac and cheese. That was, he gave us some hits. He gave us some thoughts, some ideas. He gave us some energy, right? He gave us some hope. He gave us that reincarnated. And he gave us the Heart Part 6. He gave us Luther. He gave us Gloria. He gave us the stories. He gave us everything that he could give us. Right? And it was a full course meal. It was an appetizer. It was a main course. And it was a dessert. And it was bon appetit. Right? And so GNX, man, I know I gave y'all an album review last week. So this is not an album review. This is more like a recap of everything that's happened since the album drop. Right? Everything that's been going on in the industry since the album drop, and what the album has done for itself. And they say the official number is 319K. Some say it's 324K. Right? So I've been getting those two different numbers, but basically it's around that range. So that's what he did in the first week of sales. Right? And I think that's a great thing. I think this is a good thing. This is an exceptional thing for a surprise album. This is an exceptional thing without any singles that came out before this album, right? No famous features besides SZA. I think this is something good. Right? I think this is something that Kendrick can hang his hat on. And I know the Drake fans are going to hang their hat on the fact that even though he's considered beating him in the rap battle, even though with the petitions or the lawsuits going on, a lot of Drake fans are going to hang their hat on the numbers. And that's one thing that Drake has always hung his hat on, is the numbers. And, we got to understand that Drake, his fan base is wide. His fan base is a variety of people because of the type of music he does. So at the end of the day, sometimes with hip hop, it might not be as widespread as someone who, taps on all of the musical type of genres. So it's not making no excuses, right? It's not making no excuses. It was people saying, "Damn, if Kendrick ain't even sell more than For All the Dogs, it's a flop." Right? So it's just, giving them comparisons because this is what we trying to compare. We trying to say like who's still the guy that's reigning supreme. And when we look at things, Drake is still doing the numbers. He's still getting his streams, and he still was able to sell more than 324K on an album that was of less quality, right? And the thing when we talk about good music and the thing when we talk about quality music, I feel like sometimes that gets mixed up. Sometimes the messages gets mixed because we assume that when somebody done a whole bunch of numbers that the music is good, but that's not necessarily the case. And somebody who hasn't done a lot of numbers, I heard Freddie Gibbs did 11K on the first week, and you know how superb that album is, how great that album is to me. So, I mean, when I see 319, 324K, it lets me know that Kendrick Lamar is still at that precipice. He's still at that pinnacle. He's still popular as a rapper. And I feel like with the album that he dropped, with the music, with the hits that he dropped, this album will continue to live on. This album will continue to breathe because a lot of albums sell good in their first week, but really that second and that third week sales determine like, was these numbers inflated or is this real like organic listens? And I think Kendrick will be able to garner that throughout the lifespan of this album. So I think GNX was a good album. I still stand by that. That's really the only album I've been listening to since it came out. And to be honest, I really just hate to compare the two, right? I hate to compare, what this album did versus Drake's albums. But I know people are going to say things like that. But, on the flip side, right? It might have the number one song on the Billboard chart, so he might have a new number one hit, right? And if we think about it, that gives him 3 number one hits in 1 year, right? Like that, we got Not Like Us, and I'm sure it's between Squabble Up and TV Off. I feel like those two records are battling each other for the number one spot on Billboard this upcoming week. So even though he doesn't have the same amount of record sales that Drake did on For All the Dogs, right? This is pretty much one of his second or third highest selling albums in the first week. And he still has a number one hit on the way. And then it's 8 songs from this 12-track album that are supposedly in the top 10 Billboard charts. So, I mean, those are a lot of things that you could, be appreciative of. Those are the things you could be thankful about. And I appreciate it. But something comes into question because a lot of people are trying to say that Drake making that petition, making that lawsuit during the middle of this album drop was kind of somehow stepping on this album drop, because instead of us talking about GNX, instead of us, really deep diving into GNX and really breaking all the songs down and making people want to go and listen to this and making people more interested about this album, people were more interested in the Drake lawsuit. And then on the other hand, you got the Drake fans saying, well, the fact that he even said something during the middle of this album drop made people want to go listen to it even more. But I also feel like Drake is kind of weaponizing his fan bases, right? Because we saw in this battle, it was the fan bases versus the fan bases, right? Because we see that a lot of Drake fans, a lot of Drake stans, a lot of people that are loyal to Drake, they just can't, for some reason consume this music without some certain expectation. They can't listen to Kendrick without like trying to compare and trying to like talk down on what he's doing musically. They can't really appreciate the greatness that Kendrick Lamar is giving us. And I feel like that is part of Drake's fan base, because if we think about it, before this battle was going on, a lot of people were still partial, right? A lot of people were still liking Kendrick Lamar, but at the same time, when we had to divide the pie and either you like Drake or you like Kendrick, the people that would still be able to enjoy Kendrick that were Drake fans, they hopped on the other side of the fence, and now they can't really, consume his music like they would used to. And so I say that to say this, like, when you listen to somebody's music, you kind of got to take the emotion out of, what you're listening to, because these people don't know you. These people wouldn't even see you if you was there right in front of their face. Kendrick wouldn't see me. Kendrick wouldn't know me either. So when I'm trying to like dissect and articulate these hip hop songs and these hip hop albums, I gotta keep that into account. I gotta keep my personal feelings and my personal opinions to myself, because I gotta really like break it down from an aspect of unbiasedness. I really gotta break it down from an aspect of partiality, right? And give these people the real reviews, and give these people the real, intellect, the real perspective of how I'm listening and how I'm seeing this album develop. So, I mean, did Drake weaponize his fan base, or did Drake give Kendrick a boost? And to be honest, I feel like it was both. I feel like the people that, didn't like Drake before made it, Drake doing the petitions, Drake doing these premature lawsuits made people like want to go to the album even more. And at the same time, it made the people who really like Drake, be like, nah, I'm not listening to that Kendrick. Nah, I'm not giving that no spin. So in a way, I feel like Drake did kind of step on this album release, right? And hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But, he did his best. And the fact that it didn't outsell, for all the dogs, and people are going to point to those numbers as for a reason, it didn't sell more than for all the dogs, right? They're going to say Drake is still that guy. Drake is still the boy. So it is what it is. I mean, it's just ugly to, like, bro, that's so complicated. Like, as a grown man, as an adult, it's so hard to see music in that way. Like, we pointed to numbers, we pointing to the data, and Drake is pointing to the data as well. Drake is pointing to UMG. Drake is pointing to Spotify when it comes to the data. He's petitioning. Right, he wants to see the numbers. He wants to see the books. He wants to see the phone calls and the text messages exchanged between these companies. He wants to see if they cooked the books, if they used bots, if they overdid it when it came to promoting this song, not like us, to devalue him. And to be honest, the record label was making money off of both of them. So does it benefit them to devalue him? Right? Why doesn't it? It should benefit them to boost both up. But we saw this one song catching a little bit more traction, and so we knew this was going to be the hit. So maybe we did invest a little bit more advertising dollars. Maybe we did market this single a little bit better. And not to mention, everybody was, riding the coattails of the Not Like Us thing. So Family Matters, that wasn't a chant. That was just a big ass freestyle. Right? But Not Like Us, it was an actual song. It was something people could get behind. And then when we think about this battle, what derailed Family Matters was Not Like Us. It wasn't Not Like Us. It was Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams derailed Family Matters. So it didn't get that traction. It didn't get that steam that it was given, like right off the bat. Like when even Kendrick fans heard Family Matters and how Drake got in that pocket when he was talking about Rick Ross, and in the third verse when he was himself defaming Kendrick Lamar and his fiance Whitney, we was like, God damn, he's spitting. Right? He really going in. And he gave you the video. He crushed the car. He did all of these antics. He gave you the visuals. He did the memes. Right? But when Kendrick came with Meet the Grams, everything got spooky. Everything got silent. Everyone got heavy-hearted. Right? And he put a stoppage to the incline of Family Matters, and then he dropped Not Like Us. Right? He used that to catapult Not Like Us. And everybody was paying attention to this rap battle. Nobody was really dropping in the middle of that time. So the fact that Kendrick went up right after Meet the Grams, like, to me, that was just a testament of, what he was able to do and his strategy and capitalizing on the battle. And then, the next day we got the Heart Part 6 from Drake, and it was defeated. It just sounded weak. So, like, if anything, he stopped the steam of Family Matters. He could have dropped another hit. He could have dug back in his pocket. He could have did a no face. Right? But he didn't. And since he didn't, I feel like that was his downfall. That was really the reason why he lost that battle. Right? And that was the reason why people kind of devalue him as far as a rap artist. I don't think he's been devalued as an artist, as somebody that can sing, as somebody that can tap into different cultures and use the accents, use the lingos, and be racially ambiguous and really relate to the mixed people, the Latinos, the Latinas, like all these people, right? Because he's light-skinned, right? And, people can see a little bit of themselves in him. Whether they're Latin, whether they're mixed breed, or whether they're from another country and they can relate, like Canada. So I don't believe that Not Like Us played a part in devaluing him. What I believe is he chose to participate in this battle. What I believe in, he chose to respond to Like That. He could have took Like That on the chin. He could have been like, I'm Drake, I'm the bigger artist. I ain't got time to deal with the likes of Kendrick Lamar. Right? But what he did was he decided to engage in battle. And not only did he decide to engage in battle, but he egged it on. He said, no, not this time. He said, drop. Right? He wanted Kendrick. He said, come here like Neo in the Matrix. He said, I want a piece of you. Right? And he didn't get a piece. He got the whole enchilada. Pause. So, at the end of the day, I believe that all Drake's undoing is all of his fault, And it's just one of those things where a lot of men don't like to be accountable for their mistakes, right? They want to find a way to point the finger. They want to find a way to make it somebody else's fault that, they didn't succeed, or that they was a failure, or that things didn't go their way. This is the things that we can see in the regular world, right? We can look at it from the spectrum of a celebrity, but I can see it in some of the guys I grew up with. I can see it in some of the people that I know every day, some of the people I work with, some of the people that I come across, some of the stories that I hear the women and the men tell me. Like, a lot of people don't want to take the accountability. A lot of people feel comfortable with blaming others for their dysfunction. A lot of people feel comfortable blaming others for their failures, right? For their shortcomings. They don't want to take the accountability. They don't want to take the responsibility. They don't want to say that it was me. Right? They don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to see that reflection. Right? They don't want to stand up on 10 feet. They don't want to stand up on 10 toes, 2 feet like a man. They want to stand on business, but sometimes that business get a little wobbly. You need something to keep you a little bit more firmer. You need to stand like a man on the ground, 10 toes planted. Not on no business. You don't need to stand on nothing. You need to stand on your own 2 feet. Nothing underneath you. Right? You want to stand on business? No, stand on 10 toes. Stand on your own ground. Right? And a lot of people don't want to do that. And so here we are, seeing a man who's been spoiled by the music industry, been spoiled by being able to manipulate the people he's working with, manipulate some of the women he's dealt with, manipulate some of the friends, using his celebrity, using his stardom, using his fame to get things done his way. And he's not used to hearing no. He's not used to failing. He's always succeeded. He's always been shown the red carpet. He's always been looked after and taken care of, right? And for that moment to happen to where he's not taken care of, that moment to happen where everybody's not worshiping the ground that he walks on, for that moment to happen where people don't look at him the way they used to look at him. They don't see the knight in shining armor. They see a man in rusted rusty metal, right? So it's kind of like they see somebody that with the mask off. They saw the woman without the makeup. You know, they saw your true colors. And sometimes you're so embarrassed, you're so hurt, you're so taken by surprise that you don't know how to deal with it head on. And the only way to deal with it is point the fingers instead of like just taking a deep breath and realizing it was you. Because UMG didn't tell you to go into battle. Spotify didn't tell you to go into battle. Right? You talking about defamation, the iHeart Radio, you talking about payola, pay for play. They was trying to pay these people to, play his song, and you could hear his song. And if you call Siri and to say certified lover boy, they play Not Like Us when Not Like Us had certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wop. Right? Because Certified Lover Boy came out in 2021. Not Like Us was the biggest thing smoking. Nobody was trying to do you dirty. Yes, Jeremy Heck did another video and showed that if you said drop, they will play push-ups. So you didn't really read the whole room. And it's kind of like, is he snitching? This ain't snitching. This just sad. This just like when you look at somebody that's just not taking accountability. This is unmanly. This is very ladylike. This is very emotional. This is very irrational. And the people that's giving him the advice, right? They not hip to this culture neither. Right? Maul from the Rory and Maul show said it. This gonna be a $2 billion lawsuit. How can this be $2 billion worth of a lawsuit when bro just signed a $400 million contract not too long ago? You think he was gonna re-up for $1 billion? They was talking about $600 million. How $600 million go to $2 billion? Right? So one of those things is just sad that people are playing this game and people are, using these gimmicks or using these antics, and they not speaking the real truth. And I get it. I get it from a legal or business standpoint, but it's not the fact that they said certified pedophiles in that song is the reason why you're devalued. The reason why you got devalued is because what was shown is that you wasn't understanding of the culture. What was shown that you wasn't appreciative of the culture. What was shown that you wasn't a good person. You wasn't a good friend. You rapping like you trying to free the slaves. What was shown is that you didn't understand. What was shown that you was going to Atlanta, right, to use these guys and then turn around and say they used you for a number one hit. What was shown? You was exposed. That's why you got devalued. It wasn't because somebody called you a name. Right, when you was texting these young girls, when you was kissing these young girls on stage, it wasn't because somebody called you a name. Right? They called me a dark ass nigga all my life. They called me a black ass tar baby, oil spill. They called me that when I was young. That didn't stop me from getting women. Because of Wesley Snipes, because of Tyrese. Right? They showed us. The dark-skinned brothers, we couldn't win. It wasn't because of what somebody said of me that stopped me. Right? Because nobody exposed me. What I was is what I was. And a woman had to accept that. Right? And the people had to accept that, and they knew what come with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, bro, you got exposed for being hard, being a tough guy. And that really wasn't who you were. You was using accents. You was saying people that was talking a certain way was ignorant. And then all of a sudden you became this type of person. So at the end of the day, you know, Drake, I feel you, right? From a business standpoint, because everybody want to say it's not about the music, it's about the business. Right, it's about the business. He's trying to get his money. He's trying to get what they owed. He's trying to fight for the artist. You know what this could mean for the artist if he wins this lawsuit? Right? Y'all motherfuckers riding nuts. Boy, like, come on. Like, it's crazy because if y'all had to deal with somebody like this, if y'all had to actually be around someone like this, y'all would not like him. Y'all would not respect him. Y'all would not see him as somebody that should be shown, you know, courtesy. Right? But you see him as a celebrity, you see him as somebody that made the hits. But when you see somebody acting like this, that tell you their character. They tell you that true side. And y'all gonna act like y'all ride with this shit? Y'all gonna act like y'all respect it. I mean, it is what it is. He trying to get his money, right? He trying to get his money, and you know what they say. We're a small percentage. The black community is a small percentage. And I said that too. We're a small percentage. So our perception of him is really, it might not change much. But also what I've been understanding is that our perception, is that our stranglehold on the culture affects the culture outside of us. Right? Because a lot of people manipulate, or not even manipulate, a lot of people imitate our culture. So how they see that we respond, how they see that we see things, they're going to respond the same way. When we're in school and I'm telling a white dude, man, this ain't cool. That shit corny. Like, he going to be like, oh, I didn't know. Like, that's not cool at all. That's corny, man. You sure all right, man. Thank you for telling me. Like, because we determine what's cool. We determine what's hot. So at the end of the day, although we're a small percentage, What happens is our opinions, our culture, our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings, our vibrations spread on to the outside world, and they tend to catch on to these things, and they tend to understand the things the same way we understand the things because we've shown them the light. And I mean, it's just some light shined on Drake. Just feel like it is what it is. Like if this was a guy that we knew personally, bro, you wouldn't be his friend. So why you on Twitter? Why you like defending him? If this was a dude that you knew for a fact that messed with every friend's woman that he ever had and he wanted to be your friend, you would keep your distance, right? You would spoon feed him, right? With a 10-foot spoon. You wouldn't show him your business. You wouldn't show him to your girl. You wouldn't bring around nobody. So why do the rules change? Because he's Drake. Because he not gonna give you no money, right? So what does he do for you? Cause he don't know you. So like when I see these celebrities acting a way like if I was friends with them, I wouldn't want to be friends with them. Like I wouldn't like them. So that just and I haven't liked Drake for a while because of his personality, because he's been a cornball. Like it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And damn, speaking on somebody stepping on a release, I feel like GNX stepped on J. Cole's release, right? The warm up, uh, Friday Night Lights, the audio series Inevitable, the one that he did with Ibrahim and the dude named Scott. Like, I was listening to it earlier, and J. Cole was really just giving us some good gems and just talking about his come up and really reflecting on his journey. He's gonna do a one night only show at Madison Square Garden for his Friday Night Lights anniversary, I believe. And man, I don't know if it's Friday Night Lights or Forest Hill Drive, but he's gonna do something like nostalgic like that. So I feel like J. Cole is back in his bag and trying to just go about business as usual, but you know, the landscape is different right now. I made that nigga J. Cole ask for forgiveness. That's what they was saying that the blank word was in whacked out murals that Kendrick said about him. And he said, I'm two of my friends went to war and I got their blood on me on Port of Antonio. Kendrick said, more blood spilled, that's just paint to me. Like, are we really seeing like how he feel? So I do feel like Kendrick kind of stepped on his drop, right? His release with GNX. And unfortunately, Drake stepped on both of their stuff. So it is what it is. I mean, the big three is no longer. It is Kendrick Lamar standing by himself, right? And the different flows that he's given us, the different tones, the different textures, the different type of music that he's given us, the song making that he's given us, you know, with just rapping alone, not singing, not trying to be melodic. I believe Kendrick is giving us a master class on how to be the best rapper there is. J. Cole gave us the lyrics, right? J. Cole gave us lyrics. He be spitting that shit, right? But his song making ability, it lacks. Where Kendrick Lamar's song making ability is solid, right? And Drake's song making ability is there as well. So it's just kind of like when I think about J. Cole, I think about somebody he's good for features, right? But for making a song for himself with just by himself, I think that's always been a challenge for him in his career. And he's been able to do it on certain projects and certain albums. But when I think of Might Delete Later, right? When I think about, you know, other projects, I believe you could see like where his song making wasn't there. And, you know, like I said, Kendrick Lamar didn't sell more than for all the dogs, but they saying this album GNX has sold more than J. Cole's Might Delete Later has sold altogether. This album in the first week or so, GNX has sold more than Might Delete Later has sold overall. So it kind of speaks to like how the public views Cole, right? And with No Face and 100 gigs falling down like a bag of bones, like we see how the public is viewing Drake. So regardless, I feel like Kendrick, he got ahead of steam and he's going forward. A lot of people saying that, he don't care. Like whoever wanted with him, he want that too. But man, I think we can't overlook Cole. We can't overlook Cole because I feel like Inevitable was a good drop. I liked it. I appreciated it. Uh, the story is inspiring. The story is something that needs to be told. The story is something that needs to be listened to, and we need to go revisit those albums. What about Travis Scott when he did Days After the Rodeo and it did all those numbers and then it fell flat on his ass the next week, right? Where are those bots for J. Cole? So I feel like, man, Cole, let's go listen to his old mixtapes. Let's go listen to Inevitable. It's only $10, 10 episodes. Man, it's a great listen. And I feel like we can't just leave him by himself because what Cole means to us. Like Kendrick is a king. But what Cole means to us as well. We can't forget about that. He's empowering. He's positive. He's going to give us those stories. He's going to talk about the real life situations that we need. Like, so we can't forget about Cole. Don't forget about J. Cole. Protect J. Cole. Protect him from the wrath of Kendrick Lamar. Because I feel like that's what he's going to feel. And, give me your best shot, my nigga. I'm going to take this shit on the chin and I'm going to keep on moving. And this is what we seeing right now. He got to take that shit on the chin. But I feel like we're going to miss what J. Cole is giving us. And we're too involved and too distracted by the Drake petitions, right? GNX is a great album. It's probably going to be a classic album when we look back at this moment in time. But give J. Cole your ear as well. It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son as your kinfolk, William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating. Rap, rap, rap.